Hey guys, good afternoon. This is your girl Kenty Lichtenberg of Kerai Creative Style, and we're here today once again at Kooyman, and we're going to be speaking, of course, storm ready. As you know, we are in the hurricane season. It is month 2 of hurricane preparedness and awareness, and I have with me Mr. Kimo Thomas, Account Manager of Kooyman. And yeah,
good day. Good day.
We're just going to be having a casual conversation about, sharing tips and some really important elements that you should definitely pay attention to when you are thinking hurricane awareness and how to prepare for that. So Kimo, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Joining us today.
No problem, pleasure's all mine.
As you know, we already started the season hot. I mean, we just had Elsa, that is doing some havoc in Barbados.
Yes,
current.
yes. Just turned into a storm, hurricane
category 1 today. So definitely, and by today we mean, what is the date today? I don't even know what is the date. 2nd of July already. That goes to show you that we're really, what I projected was actually accurate, because we said we were going to start having a very early and active hurricane season.
Unfortunately,
yes. But we live in a hurricane's world, and this is what we do for 6 months of the year. Right?
That's the price of paradise.
That's the price of paradise. Very well said. And with that, I mean, we have learned throughout the years that the more in time you prepare, the more damage you can prevent, right?
Most definitely.
So let's talk about a few of the things that we would like to definitely highlight during this discussion. I know that for everyone, roofing, of course, is important.
Yes, indeed. One of the main things we experienced, and we had to explain a lot of people after Irma that came in, because before Irma, the norm was you try to give someone advice, you tell a builder, and the builder say, I in the business for 20 years, I know what I do, and I know how to build a roof. After Irma, we found out that many of those builders were building the roofs incorrectly. So it's all down to the process. The most important thing is, you need to use at least 2x6s, 3x6s for the beams, and then you tie that down with the hurricane strap onto the wall. And most people, what they do is they pour a ring beam and put a bar through the beams as well, and that keeps it down. And then on top of that, you put down your T111, your felt, and then you put down your zinc.
So it's really like a formula of processes and steps, and if you skip one, that is where you run the risk of it not being strong enough to sustain the winds of, various categories winds and hurricanes.
Yeah, one of the biggest misconceptions that there were, even with government during the reconstruction, because we took part in one of the original tenders for the roof repairs, is everybody say, we need to have 3.5 inches, we need to have 3.5 inch screws. Yeah, there's 2 sets of screws that go into a roof that people don't pay attention to. You're just given the length of one, but you're not understanding the process. One of the main screws was you always needed at least a 5-inch or 6-inch screw that goes through the T111 and that hits your rafter. So that's either your 2x6s or 3x6 or 3x8, because that is what's actually holding the plywood
together
together onto the beam. If you don't have the right length of the screw, you don't put that in, you can put as long as you want a zinc screw, but the zinc screws don't always hit the beam. They hit the runner boards, what's on top of the felt. That gives us space underneath of the zinc that the water or whatever, if something passes underneath, that happens to get in between, it runs off on the felt, comes out, everything else stays on top of the zinc and runs off.
For me, it's of course a different type of lingo, because we're not speaking fashion here. For me, it sounds like a lot of work, but I think it's a process, and if you're able to at least communicate that to the person that is doing your roof reinforcement or repair, and making sure that that contractor understand from a perspective of, let's say, when they have the conversation, like, this is what you need to make sure that your roof is solid, and that can withstand X amount of winds. Of course, we know that with hurricanes, everything is unpredictable, and it's nature. Nature does, what it's going to do ultimately. But it's in our benefit to understand the process of what it entails so that we can protect our homes.
Well, 90% of the protection for the roof is like what I just explained, because if you tie down the plywood, the T111, to the rafters correctly, even if something hits your roof, it is, yes, you can never always stop total damage, but then it will be an isolated event and the whole roof wouldn't take off.
Correct.
That's what happened to a lot of people, that you got an isolated hit, and because the rest of the roof wasn't attached correctly, the whole roof peeled off like a cap. So
in the brochure as well, you also have some tips overall tips about, of course, your hurricane categories, explaining what is one of, by now, of course, we're veterans in that, because we've had so many, we understand the dynamics of it. But for those people that probably are visiting the island and they get caught up during a storm, which we have had in the past numerous occasions, that they know that if they pick up the brochure, if they download it digitally, that they have, information about shelters, the emergency numbers that are needed, all of that stuff you could also find in the brochure. And I thought that is actually a good idea. And also a list of things that you should have with you. Like I like to call it my hurricane kit. We have that at home where you have all your duct tapes, all your stuff, grab and go, tires, and that doesn't be touched throughout the year. And I also think that's a good idea. There's some good storage boxes in Kooyman that I bought mine from here actually, and I put so the extra hammer, everything that I'm not gonna use outside of that season, I have that there so that if we need to grab something quick or we need to board up, that everything is there as a grab and go.
Well, we usually carry a hurricane kit, but because of Corona and the other circumstances of this year, we weren't able to put together the usual kit.
Yes.
As usual, because like you said, most people that come here are even people that recently moved back, or even students that come back from abroad that never experienced a hurricane, because a lot of people didn't experience a hurricane before Irma. They have no idea what to do or what is preparation or what is good preparation.
Yes.
Basic things like telling a person, just fill up your washing machine, fill up your bathtub, leave the water.
Get extra water.
At least you'll have water to flush your toilet and stuff. And those are simple things that people, they don't even perceive that can help them out.
Exactly. Buying containers to fill up water. We have extra containers and buckets and stuff like that to use to make sure, for the same reason, it's not drinking water, but you can clean your house, because of course, cleaning during a pandemic. Now with a pandemic and hurricane, well, you have to, it has to be cleaning on asteroids.
Yep.
If you have children, sanitation is important. So you have to make sure that you have water. And I think buckets, tumblers, I always get mine at Kooyman as well. Different liters, gallons, and sizes that you can play around with, and they're easily to store.
Like our kit, the main part of the kit was a garbage bin. Fill it with water.
What are some other key tips that you could give?
One of the most important things to do is, like you said, have a ready list, as well as have a escape plan. Depends on where you live and what type of situation you have to assess for yourself, and that's what most of the older island culture was. During the year, when you start getting close to the hurricane months, they start to assess the house, the situation. Am I safe here? Yes, if I'm safe here, okay, now I have to make sure to upgrade or fix or clean up all around the yard, cut low-hanging branches,
very important,
clearing out trees, especially with the coconuts and those type of stuff, because prevention is better than the cure. If you don't do it now, in advance, you have months before, then later on when the hurricane is coming, because look today, the hurricane, it was a storm, it was just going to pass, it turned into a hurricane today. You have maybe a few hours. You have a few hours to go and prepare. If you don't prepare in advance, you won't be able to go fix and screw down the roof or make sure that this part or the roof was leaking. You won't have the time to do that. So you have to deal with those things throughout the year leading up to the season, and then reassess after every season.
That is very important. And of course, if you know that you're, in low-lying areas and stuff like that, flooding, what do you know? Do you need sandbags? Do you need like all of these things? Like you said, prepare a list of things that could happen, and have a escape plan, have a route. Okay, if we cannot stay here before the storm is like really on us, I have to make a decision to move myself and my family to a more safer place.
Or even basic things like vehicles. People don't hear that if you're in a spot that you live, that your vehicles are just open to the elements, coordinate with family, friends, or even your job or another business that and try and regulate something that you can put your vehicles in a safe place. It might be inconvenient for the time being, but at least less expenditures if you have to go and do repairs.
Definitely, and all the process as well of the claiming process and how long it takes, and depending on how hard we get hit. I am crossing my fingers that we definitely don't get nothing to worry about this year. Last year we escaped, as I like to say it, and this year I'm hoping that we have the same luck. However, we can run hurricane with luck. We need to make sure that we prepare, and I think Kooyman is the right place for you to get not only your tools to cut down your branches, your trees, and everything else, but everything that you need in terms of preparing your home inside and outside, right? So yes, I think we will round off this conversation.
No problem.
Unless you have some other tips that you think are important to share with the audience?
The only other information I would always give, and like I always tell everybody when you come into Kooyman, is ask a question. Never be afraid to ask a question. If one person doesn't know the answer, someone else will definitely know the answer, because the honest way we can help you is by understanding the situation.
And what you're going to do. And I think some of us come here with just our plain canvas, but we don't really know. I'm one of those persons. I always want something, don't really know what it is I'm going to do. And then I have to, relate to that. Oh, and then we go, oh no, but you don't need that. You actually need this. So I can say that, the staff of Kooyman is always readily available to answer your questions and to walk you through whatever it is you need to get it done. No question is a dumb question. Just ask it. And if they don't know, like Kimo said, if he don't know someone, he's going to get someone that can assist you, and vice versa. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what we're here for, to try and support each other through this process of ensuring that our homes and businesses and lives, of course, are protected during this carnival season. That could not be a good thing. You still remember hurricane season? Carnival season. I do miss carnival, guys. I'm sorry. It's been a minute, so bear with me. We carnival babies, we're suffering too. So guys, thank you so much. And I hope that, of course, that you take heed of some of this advice that was shared with you today. Thank you once again for being on board.
No problem. Thank you for coming out and spending time with us.
Yes, Kooyman is one of my favorite places to always, come and look cute and shop around for things that are not fashionable at all, but definitely that you need. So until the next time, stay tuned. Make sure you check their catalog digitally, and also again the hard copy on in the store as you walk in. Yeah.
Bye bye.